Disappointing news then that Louis van Gaal is still in charge of Manchester United. I was hoping to do this video. This video is being recorded Tuesday, and I was hoping to do it with the news that Louis van Gaal had been dismissed by Ed Woodward, and it hasn't happened. God knows why he hasn't been dismissed. There are rumours going around that he's potentially could be quitting Manchester United. Now, if these rumours are to be true, why are the club not letting him quit? You know, if he's offering his resignation, why aren't we letting him go? I just don't understand. You know, the football is dire. He spent over 250 million quid. That's over a quarter of £1 billion. I mean, it's just getting a fucking joke, really is. And he's come out this week, well, the last few days, and pretty defeatist, to be honest, saying that the fans had high expectations of him as a manager, and he's sorry that he hasn't been able to achieve the expectations the fans had of him. Now, to me, it just seems like he's just defeatist and he's ready to go. He's understood that it's not going to work out any longer, so just let the bloke go. He's got only a few months remaining on his contract, less than 2 years. I mean, he's only got this season and a bit of this season and next season to go. Just let the fucking man go. It's just ridiculous. I just don't know what Ed Woodward's doing. You know, he's probably in another Far East country trying to get us a deal for sponsorship deal with baked beans or some fucking shit, and just not sorting out the problem that we've got at Manchester United. You know, he is a big part of the problem at Manchester United, because he could just get rid of this bloke. He can realise that the mistake was hiring Louis van Gaal. It was a mistake. I thought that he probably would be a decent candidate for the job as Manchester United manager when we hired him. A very experienced manager, won a lot of stuff, got Holland obviously to the semi-final. Okay, the football wasn't too good, but got them to the semi-final of the World Cup, and everyone was getting excited. I thought that he would get us back challenging for silverware. I wasn't too sure if we would win a lot of silverware under him. I thought we might potentially win an FA Cup, maybe a Carling Cup, maybe something along them lines, a Community Shield, stuff like that along the line, but probably not actually winning the Premier League and the Champions League. But I thought he would get us back challenging, sort of finishing second, maybe third. But we're not even challenging for the title. We're just mediocre, challenging for fourth. And if Ed Woodward's happy with that, then he's a fucking moron, because Manchester United are going to lose this Adidas deal next season. We've got, I think it's around 23 million something, a vast amount of money that we will not be given if we're not in the Champions League. And we are not, at the moment it looks like, not going to get Champions League football unless something does dramatically happen. Now, most likely it would have to be if Louis van Gaal is sacked. Even then, we probably will not get Champions League football, because somebody else is going to have to take this mantle on, and it's going to be so fucking difficult now, this stage of the season, when you're not going to be able to sign any players. You're going to be stuck with the squad that we've got. Maybe someone could get a lot better out of the players. True, Louis van Gaal's got rat shit out of these players this season. Got barely nothing out of these players, and to be honest, we've got a much better squad than Leicester, who are actually top of the table. So he's definitely not getting the best out of them at all. We should be at least challenging for the fourth spot, and we're not even looking like we're going to even challenge Tottenham for the fucking fourth spot. The way this is going, we could finish about fucking 8th. The way things are going, it is absolutely a joke at Manchester United. Now, something has got to change. I really do hope it will change, but to be honest, I'm starting to think that it looks like Edward wants to keep Louis van Gaal in the job, hoping that he can rectify the season and get 4th place, and then make a change in the summer. It seems to me as though he doesn't want to make the change mid-season and doesn't want to look like a failure hiring him, which you just got to accept you are a failure. It was a failure move. We've just got to accept that and move on. I mean, David Moyes, you could probably tell that from the start that it was most likely going to be a failure, but this one, you know, he's won a lot of trophies, so you just got to admit that it was wrong, it's just happened, it was a mistake, and move on. But if we leave it till the summer, you know, potentially another manager could come in, but I don't know what the difference is now. Unless you're waiting for Pep Guardiola, I don't understand, because I don't really understand what other managers you're going to get, because unless you're going to get Diego Simeone, which I can't really see him coming to Manchester United. A lot of people don't really want him because his team aren't as attacking as some of the teams, some of the Pep Guardiola teams, and so forth. But, you know, he's had to sell a lot of players over the last few years. He hasn't got the best of teams. He's challenging Barcelona and Real Madrid at the top, who are powerhouses at spending money. So I still think he has done a very, very decent job. He's sold the likes of Diego Costa. He's having to make do with just Griezmann up front and got Fernando Torres. So I think he has done a decent job there, and he could be a candidate. But besides that, I don't know who else you're going to get in the summer that would be different from now, because Ryan Giggs could take the job now if you want to give it to him. He seems to only want it on a permanent basis. The club seem to only want to give it to him on a temporary basis, which I just don't know about that. You know, and the only other real potential candidate is going to be Jose Mourinho, because Pep Guardiola looks like he's going to Manchester City. Now, if you're going to get Jose Mourinho, why wait till the summer when fourth place is out the question? I'm not saying he's going to come in and get us fourth place. He could potentially get us fourth place. He could also potentially, we've got the Europa League, he could potentially have a few easy draws, play maybe Napoli in the final. You could potentially win it. It isn't out the question if you had a bit of a better manager in. You know, we'll just have to wait and see, but to be honest, I don't know why it isn't happening now, because they're the only two candidates I can see realistically that we could get besides Pep Guardiola. Maybe there is a secret in place. You know, there was that secret talk, potentially them talking to him the other day, which they've denied, but then again they said the exact same thing when they hired Louis van Gaal. They said they denied that they'd talked to Louis van Gaal prior to him being hired as Manchester United manager, so I don't read too much into that, but I do think he probably will go to Manchester City. So personally, I would like to see Jose Mourinho come into the Manchester United. I know some people are obviously saying he will be a temporary manager. Who are you going to get that's going to be long term? I mean, there isn't going to be someone that's long term. And potentially he could go on 4 or 5 years, given Manchester United have got a massive financial clout to buy top players at Manchester United. We can spend a hell of a lot of money on transfers and on wages. We could blow the likes of Chelsea out the water with transfers. So if Jose Mourinho gets us back challenging 4 trophies, then potentially he could be able to buy really, really top of the end players again. We could turn back into a real force again. You know, at Chelsea this summer it didn't go too well because he didn't get the players in he wanted. But Manchester United probably would give him the players he wanted if he wanted John Stones. I'm sure Manchester United would slap the extra money. I mean, we paid over the odds for players in the past. We could do that again if he really wanted top players. So potentially, I think it is probably the best move you're going to have now. I just don't think anyone else is going to be able to come in and take on this mantle at Manchester United. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the situation. Hopefully things are going to improve, because things just don't seem to be improving in this managerial talk the last few days. Anyway, hopefully we can get a better result in the coming game against Derby on Friday. We will be back with a preview hopefully tomorrow. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.